That jug of Country Time in your pantry right now, the one you mix up for the grandkids, has no lemon juice in it at all. Not a drop. It is sugar, citric acid, and something the label is legally allowed to call natural flavor. The enemy here is a single line in the federal code, Food and Drug Administration Rule 21 CFR 101.22 lets a company stamp the word lemon on a product that has never met a lemon, as long as a chemist can trace the flavor back to something that once grew. In 2019, Kraft Heinz got hit with a class action over exactly this, the claim that Country Time's naturally flavored label was misleading. That is how thin the word natural has become. And I'm going to show you 3 lemonades that are actually the real thing. Real juice, real pulp, real people who started these companies for a reason, including one you can get at Costco for almost nothing. So today we are walking through 7 lemonade brands you should walk right past this summer and 3 that are actually worth your cart. If you are tired of being lied to by the food industry, hit subscribe. You're going to want to share this one. Real lemonade is 3 things: water, real lemon juice, and a sweetener. That is it. That is what your grandmother made on the porch, and it is what a handful of companies still bottle today. The reason the real stuff costs more is not complicated. Lemons are expensive, they bruise, they spoil, and squeezing them is work. A jug of powder that is mostly sugar and acid costs pennies to make and sells for the same price as juice. So the industry made a choice, and that federal flavor rule gave them the cover to make it. And this next part should bother you. On the back of nearly every bottle, there is a test you can run in your own kitchen in under a minute that tells you instantly whether you are drinking lemonade or drinking chemistry. I will show you that in a few minutes. First, the walk of shame. Number 7, Country Time. You probably have this one already in the big plastic canister because it feels like the wholesome choice. It is not. Look at the ingredient list. There is no lemon juice on it. The base is sugar, then fructose, then citric acid, then that word natural flavor. What you are tasting is sweetness and sourness with a lemon idea floating on top. It is flat, it is one note, it coats your teeth and finishes chemical because there is no actual fruit to give it body. And the citric acid doing the sour work is not squeezed from citrus. It is manufactured in giant fermentation tanks from a mold called Aspergillus niger. That is the real source of most industrial citric acid, and it is on the label as 3 innocent words. If you have been buying a canister every couple of weeks all summer to keep a pitcher going, you have spent roughly $100 this year on flavored sugar. Not lemonade, sugar. And if you thought that was bad, the next one is worse. Because at least Country Time is honest enough to sell itself as a powder. This next one is sitting in the chilled aisle pretending to be fresh. Number 6, Arizona Lemonade. That tall can feels like a deal at $1 or so. And they are banking on one simple habit. You compare that can to a soda, not to real juice. Look at the ingredients. High fructose corn syrup is right near the top, and the lemon juice, if it is there at all, is a rounding error at the bottom. It drinks thick and syrupy and a little cloying, that heavy corn syrup sweetness that sits on your tongue and does not quit. There is a reason it is hard to drink a whole tall can without wanting water. High fructose corn syrup hits your liver differently than regular sugar, and a body of research from groups like the American Heart Association ties heavy corn syrup intake to fatty liver and metabolic strain over time. Buy one of those big cans twice a week through the summer, and you are looking at $50 or $60 a year to drink corn syrup with a lemon photo on the can. And if you thought that was bad, this next one has spent millions convincing you it is the fresh squeezed option. Number 5, Minute Maid Lemonade. The name says made, like someone squeezed it. The carton lives in the refrigerated case next to the orange juice, which is the whole trick. It borrows the credibility of the juice aisle, but turn the carton around. Near the top of the list in most of the lineup is high fructose corn syrup, and the lemon juice content is tiny. It tastes watery and thin up front, then finishes with that same corn syrup weight on the back end. It is engineered to taste like a memory of lemonade, not like lemons. That federal flavor loophole is doing all the heavy lifting on the carton, and Coca-Cola, which owns Minute Maid, knows exactly how the refrigerated shelf makes you feel about it. A carton or 2 a week across the season adds up to well over $100 a year for what is mostly water and corn syrup. And if you thought that was bad, the next one built an entire health halo on top of the same trick. Number 4, Crystal Light Lemonade. This is the Diet Theater brand. 0 sugar, so it must be the smart choice, right? Look at what replaced the sugar. aspartame. This is not lemonade. It is water you tint with an artificial sweetener and an artificial sour note, and there is no lemon juice anywhere near it. It tastes sharp and a little metallic with that hollow chemical sweetness that lingers after you swallow and never quite tastes like food. Aspartame is one of the most argued over additives in the grocery store. And in 2023, the World Health Organization's cancer research arm classified it as possibly carcinogenic to humans. Reasonable people disagree about the risk. What is not up for debate is that there is no lemon in your lemonade. If you are drinking this instead of water because you think it is healthy, they are banking on exactly that belief. If this is already saving you from a bad shop, do me a favor and hit subscribe. We publish one of these every week, and if you thought that was bad, this next one got sued for the lie right on the front label. Number 3, Snapple Lemonade. Snapple built its whole personality on being made from the best stuff on earth. So a group of customers took them to court over the lemonade. The complaint said the all-natural, best stuff labeling was misleading because the product contains less than 1% lemon juice. Less than 1%. Read that back. It drinks like sweet tea that lost its way, thin and sugary with a vague citrus perfume on top. The body you expect from real lemonade, that slight cloud, that cling of pulp, is completely missing because there is almost nothing real in there to give it. A bottle here and a bottle there through the summer, at $1.50 or $2 a pop, quietly runs you $70 or $80 a year for sugar water with a famous label. And if you thought that was bad, the next one turns the whole scam into a science experiment. Number 2, True Lemon and its True Lemonade mixes. This one hurts because it marketed itself as the clean option. Little packets made from real lemons right on the box. It faced a class action alleging exactly that the real lemons and naturally flavored claims hid what is actually in there. And what is in there is a chemistry set. The sour is manufactured citric acid and synthetic D-L-malic acid, with only a whisper of actual lemon for flavor. That synthetic malic acid is the tell. Real malic acid comes from fruit. The DL version is made in a lab from petroleum feedstocks, and it is doing the job you think the lemon is doing. It tastes bright and aggressive and slightly soapy on the finish, the way lab acid does when there is no fruit to round it off. A packet that says made from real lemons, built on acid from a lab, that is the whole game. And if you thought that was bad, the last one is the worst offender in the whole cooler, and it is the one that looks the most fun. Number 1, Calypso Original Lemonade. Those pretty glass bottles with the little lemon bits floating in them. That is the marketing. Now read the label. High fructose corn syrup near the top and then the dyes. Yellow 5 and often others are what give it that unnaturally bright, sunny color. The floating bits are the set dressing for a product built on corn syrup and food coloring. It drinks like liquid candy, cloying and heavy, and that color is not coming from lemons. Yellow 5, also called tartrazine, is exactly the kind of dye that has been tied in studies to hyperactivity in some children, which is why it draws so much scrutiny. In the European Union, any product with yellow 5 has to carry a printed warning on the label that it may affect activity and attention in children. Just not here. Here it goes in a pretty bottle and gets handed to your grandkids. Buy a couple of those bottles a week all summer and you have spent close to $100 on corn syrup and dye in a nice glass. Now, before we get to the good news, here is the test I promised. Take whatever lemonade is in your fridge right now and pour a glass. Let it sit on the counter for 15 or 20 minutes and then look at the bottom of the glass. Real lemonade, the kind with actual juice and pulp, will start to separate. You will see a faint cloud settle, a little sediment, because real fruit does not stay perfectly dissolved. The fake stuff stays flawlessly clear and uniform to the last drop, because there is nothing in it to settle. Dissolved acid and dye do not separate. Fruit does. If your glass looks like glass, you are not drinking lemonade. Now, if you have made it this far, here's the payoff. 3 lemonade brands that are actually what they say they are. And one of them costs about the same as that Snapple you have been buying. Number 3, Newman's Own Old-Fashioned Roadside Lemonade. This company started in 1982 when the actor Paul Newman began bottling his own salad dressing to give away at Christmas, and it turned into a real business. The rule he set has never changed. 100% of the profits go to charity. That is the origin, and it shapes the product because the whole point was never to squeeze the recipe for margin. So they use real lemon juice and cane sugar instead of the cheap corn syrup shortcut, and that costs them more per bottle. You can taste where the money went. It has actual tartness, actual body, the cloudiness you want. Turn the bottle over and the proof is right there. Real lemon juice listed as a real ingredient, not a flavor. On the review boards, longtime buyers keep saying the same thing, that it tastes like the lemonade they remember from childhood. You will find it at most major grocery chains for around $3 or $4 a bottle. Number 2. Natalie's Lemonade. This one is my favorite story in the whole video. Natalie's is a small family juice company started in 1989 in Fort Pierce, Florida, by Mary Grace and Bobby Sexton. They named it after their daughter, Natalie. It is still family run, and they squeeze in small batches instead of running the industrial concentrate route. Doing it that way is genuinely harder and more expensive. Fresh juice in small batches has a short shelf life, which is a nightmare for a food company, and they accept that cost on purpose. The proof is right on the back. Turn the bottle around and count the ingredients. 3. Lemon juice, water, and cane sugar. That is the entire list. No flavor, no acid, no dye, nothing to hide. Buyers online describe it almost the same way every time, that it tastes like they squeezed it themselves. You will find Natalie's in the refrigerated section at Whole Foods and better grocery stores, usually around $4 or $5. And get this, you could make this exact thing yourself with 4 lemons, some water, and a little sugar in about 10 minutes. We will put the method in the description. And if this ranking is useful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel cut through the algorithm. Number 1. Kirkland Signature Organic Lemonade. This is the one that proves you do not have to spend a fortune to drink real. It is Costco's own organic lemonade, and it is the answer to everyone who thinks the honest option is always the expensive one. Costco's model is simple. Cut out the brand markup, use its buying power, and hand you the quality for less. Flip the jug over and read it. 4 ingredients. Filtered water, organic lemon juice, organic sugar, and organic lemon flavor from the fruit. That is a cleaner label than bottles that cost 3 times as much. And because it is certified organic, that is a standard you can actually verify on the package, not a marketing word. Costco shoppers rave about this one every summer, that it is the best value in the whole warehouse for what it is. You will find it in the refrigerated section at Costco, usually as a 2-pack for well under $10. Per glass, it is cheaper than the Snapple that has less than 1% lemon in it. The one thing worth remembering from all of this is simple. The word natural on a lemonade label is not a promise about fruit. It is a legal loophole. The only thing that tells you the truth is the ingredient list and the bottom of the glass. The worst of the bunch is Calypso, corn syrup, and dye in a pretty bottle handed to kids. The best is Natalie's. 3 honest ingredients from a family that has done it the hard way since 1989. So here is your one move on the next grocery run. Turn the bottle around before it goes in the cart. If real lemon juice is not in the first 3 ingredients, put it back. Next week, we found something in a national brand of iced tea that genuinely surprised us. Something more than half of American households pour every week without knowing what is actually steeping in it. Drop the lemonade brand you still trust in the comments. We are building the list together. Hit subscribe if this changed how you shop today. We will see you in the next aisle.